Hello children, welcome back to class. Today we will be taking a new topic, that is the Indian Constitution. In your social and political life, this is the first lesson that we have. It is called as the Indian Constitution. Now in the last 2 years of your social and political life which you had in school, you have learned about various aspects. You have learned about various aspects of equality. You have learned about how the governments work, the state governments work. Last year these are all the things that you had learned, right? So now we will take up a more important topic, and which is also again expanded in the next year in your 9th standard. We will take an introduction to the Indian Constitution. What is this Constitution? Why is it required? What functions are there? And what and all are the things that are provided for in this Constitution, which we call as the Indian Constitution. So as usual, for you to understand much more better, I have prepared a few slides which will make you understand what this Constitution actually means, what it is for, what is the need for the Indian Constitution. The Constitution plays a crucial role in laying out certain important guidelines that govern. Means it plays an important role in making clear the rules or the laws which are established in a country. So when I am making a particular law, I have to take into consideration what the Constitution says. I cannot make a law which is unconstitutional or which is outside the framework of the Constitution. The right to equality is one of the fundamental rights guaranteed by the Indian Constitution. Last year you had a chapter on equality. In fact, you had two chapters, the first chapter and the very last chapter also. Both these chapters were about equality and how people struggle up for getting equality. So the right to equality is one of the most important rights, and it is a guaranteed right in our Indian Constitution. Guaranteed means 100% in India, without anyone questioning you, you have the right to equality. That is guaranteed in our Indian Constitution. And then it ensures that a dominant group does not use its power against the minorities. What is the meaning of this dominant group, minorities? Some new words we are coming across. The meaning of these I will explain to you much more better in later. But just to give you an idea is, our country has many religions. Okay, there are many religions in our country. No other country in the whole world will have so many religions, and all these religions, they live happily with each other. We respect each other's religion, and very rarely do we find that people fighting among each other. It happens. I'm not saying it never happens, but fights between religions happen many times. But the Constitution needs to see that any religion which is more in number, okay, any particular religion which is more in number, does not dominate or does not dictate terms, does not tell the other religions that no, you should not practice your particular religion in this country. We are more in number, so you should all follow us. That does not happen in our country, because the Constitution is there to protect. It sees that the people who are smaller in number are able to practice whatever religion they want without being discriminated or without being dominated. Okay. And lastly, the Constitution is to save us from ourselves. Save us from ourselves. What are we going to do? Are we going to kill ourselves? No. You will understand the meaning of this word once we go more and more further into the topic. Constitution is to save us from ourselves, because if this Constitution is not there, there's nothing to stop us from destroying ourselves. This Constitution is basically there to protect ourselves and to see that we have the best laws and the best rules in our country, to see that we can prosper and grow much more better into more powerful country. Right? So that is this reason why we have the Constitution. Okay. Let us go a little bit more detail into the Constitution to see what and all it provides us with, what and all it gives us. Why do we need a Constitution again? We need a Constitution to govern a country properly. Okay, so that the Constitution on which a based set of rules or laws are situated are made, so that the country is run properly. The Constitution defines the natural or political system of a country. What kind of system should we follow? Should we follow a system like is there in China, like is there in Russia. Why? We can have a system of our own which is good for us, which we are comfortable with. That is why we have a parliamentary form of government in a country wherein the prime minister is the head. We do not follow a system which is followed in the United States where the president is the head of the government. We have a totally different system which is easier for us to follow, which we understand, which we are comfortable with. And this system is given to us by our constitution. The constitution helps us guard against an issue that might go against larger interests of our society. Yes, like I said in the previous slide, how one religion should not dominate over other religions. So this is where the constitution steps in and it protects us and sees that the larger interest of the society, means society as a whole or India as a whole, what is required for the growth of India, these things are taken into account. All the three organs of government functions within this constitution. We have three organs of government, yes, that what we call as separation of power, right? The separation of power or the three organs are judiciary, legislative and executive. These are the three organs that we have and which function together so that we see that power is not concentrated only in the hands of one part. This power is distributed equally among the three different organs of our constitution, of our this. These three different organs are explained to you much more in detail in the next lessons. Okay, so I will not go into explanation of these, how these things function, but you need to understand over here for this particular lesson that there are three organs of government that is called as the judiciary and the executive and the legislative. How these three organs function, we will go in the next lessons. Okay. So the constitution allocates power and functions and also to restrict them within its limit. So what the constitution does is, by dividing power within the three organs, it sees that no one organ is ultimately powerful. It sees that one organ cannot function without the other organ. It is very much similar to our body, right? Our body has several different organs, and you remove one organ, obviously you will not be able to function properly like a normal human being. If you remove the brain, brain is gone, cannot work. If you remove the heart, dead, gone, cannot work. Remove your lungs, can you function? No, obviously you cannot. Remove your liver, cannot function. Remove your intestine, cannot function. Remove your stomach, cannot function. So all these organs are required inside your body to function properly. Same way our constitution also works. These three organs are required to function properly. Only one organ cannot function without the others. Right? Now let us take step by step the functions of this constitution. What is the need of this constitution? Once we go step by step into these things, you will be able to understand the requirement of this constitution much more better. I will show you one small image and let me see what all of you understand when you see this particular image. You see a start line over here. People are all starting over here for a running race. Apparently it looks like a running race. Only one person is ahead in line. All of the others are behind. This one person is ahead in line. What is so special about him? Why is this person ahead in line? You can interpret this particular image as a misuse of power. He is misusing it. Maybe he has been designated as a leader. That is why you can see that the color of his tie is red in color. He has a different color tie. So maybe he might be the leader over here, but he is taking advantage of his position. He is misusing his position. What we call this as a misuse of authority. Many of you might have also experienced it in your class. Yes. Small example I'll give you. But immediately you'll understand what is sir saying. Now your class teacher wants to select a monitor. Okay. Class teacher wants to select a monitor. All of you raise your hands. Ma'am, sir, make me the monitor. What ma'am thinks? Let me make the most talkative boy a monitor. This boy talks a lot I will make this boy only the monitor. So once he becomes the monitor, automatically he will stop talking, because he is the monitor. So she picks up Prashant. One boy name I'm giving. For example, okay, she picks up Prashant to become the monitor of your class. Now Prashant thinks that, I have become the monitor, I am great. Now I will take revenge on Sanket. This Sanket has always been troubling me. I don't like Sanket. I will take revenge on Sanket because now I have become powerful. I have become the monitor. So I will take revenge on Sanket. How do I take revenge on Sanket? When teacher is not there, when I have to write the names on the board, simply I will write Sanket's name. Every time I have to make name of talkative children, I will write Sanket's name on that. So teacher will come, see Sanket's name, and then Sanket will get punished. Do you think what this monitor is doing is correct? Obviously it's not correct. He is misusing the power which is given to him by the teacher. The teacher has made him a monitor, given him some responsibility of taking care of the class in her absence, and Prashant is misusing that responsibility or the little amount of power which the teacher has given him. This is what we call as misuse of power, and this is what this particular picture is representing. Okay, we will go to the next aspect over here, is where domination by a certain group. We had seen this particular sentence in the earlier slide. Domination by a particular group. What does this domination mean? If you see this particular slide, it is called as minorities in India. Minorities in India: Muslims, Sikhs, Christians, Buddhists, Jains, Parsis. These are all religions in India which do not have large number of people, but yes, there are many people who follow these religions, but they are little lesser in number compared to another religion which is supposed to be a majority in India. Hinduism is the more popular religion in India, and we have many people in India who follow Hinduism, right? So these religions that you see on your screen over here, these 6 religions, they are considered as minority. Now the constitution is designed in such a way that everybody is free to follow whatever religion they want. It is free to, wherever you want you can pray. Government does not say anything. You can celebrate whatever festival you want, however you want. Government does not say anything. This is the freedom that you have in India to follow your religion. What the constitution does over here is, it prevents Hinduism from trying to dominate. Hindus cannot come and tell Sikhs or Christians or Buddhists or Muslims, you don't celebrate this festival. You cannot celebrate this festival. It causes disturbance to all other people, so you do not celebrate this particular festival. Does that happen? That does not happen in India, because the constitution protects all these other religions. That is the main function of the constitution, where it prevents this particular domination. Domination means I try to take control. I try to control all other people over there. I try to force my own ideas on those people. This kind of domination is prevented because of our constitution. So let us try to recapitulate again. We saw the need of the constitution. What is the requirement of having a constitution? Since we are a democratic country wherein everybody votes, correct? It's called as universal adult franchise. You already learned in your previous 2 classes this. Because of this, we have a constitution, and this constitution plays different roles. The need of this constitution is, the first thing what we saw is misuse of power. It prevents misuse of power. Because we have a constitution, people in power cannot misuse. How do they not misuse? Because we have separation of power. We have separated this power into 3 different bodies. That is the legislation, the judiciary, and the executive. We have these 3 different bodies in our country, 3 sections of government, and because of this, the misuse of power is prevented, right? And then the constitution also sees that the minorities in India are protected. The dominant religion or the dominant group of people does not force their ideas or does not put these people into problem, does not trouble these people. That is why this constitution is there, or it is designed for us, right? So this is the recapitulation that we have done of what we learned in today's class. Please, if you require, you can always see this video again and again and again, how many more times you want, so that you understand all the concepts in this particular video very clearly, right? So I will leave you over here today. Have a good day. Thank you.